everybody, this week on ELON News Kids, I'm going to be talking about Elon Musk's proposal to buy Twitter, the subway in New York City shootings, China fighter aircraft, and Guatemala discovery. We're going to be talking about Sierra Leone in the Country of the Week segment, and Sudan was the first to guess it. Congratulations! The extra fun segment is all about snow leopards, and we are talking about how to introduce yourself by saying your name and where you live in Chinese. We are talking to Raquel Fernandez, who is a really interesting woman who works in private equity and has amazing projects and journey. I really hope you enjoy, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment below because it would really help us. Thank you. Elon Musk offered to buy Twitter during an interview with the TED conference on Thursday. He said that this deal was not to make money, but to make sure that Twitter remains a secure and trusted site. He said that he saw a lack of free speech on Twitter and said that if he takes over, there would be some significant changes of the operation. He also said that if he doesn't manage to buy it, he has some other projects, but hasn't revealed them yet. A few days ago, there was a shooting in New York City subway station. More than 20 people were injured, but none of them have been killed yet. It was a really horrible experience, and people said that they could not even count how many shots there were. Frank James, a 62-year-old man, was suspected and now has been arrested. He's going to spend his entire life in prison, but his motive for this has not been revealed yet. China has started sending its most advanced fighter aircraft, the Chinese J-20, on patrol in the East and South China Seas. Zheng Yunkun, the main spokesman for the J-20, said that it was important for this as a training session because the engines of the J-20 had just been replaced from Russian engines to Chinese twin engines. This patrol came just a few weeks after the US F-35 aircraft and the J-20 aircraft came close to each other in the South China Sea. In the San Bartolo archaeological site in the north of Guatemala, a glyph representing one of the 260 named days of the Mayan calendar was found. This glyph is called Seven Deer, and it's the earliest evidence of the Mayan calendar found so far. The San Bartolo archaeological site gained its fame in 2001 after a hidden chamber and colorful murals dating back to 100 BC were discovered. The glyph found this week dated back to the 3rd century BC. Hi everybody, this week on ANN News Kids, we are interviewing Raquel Fernandez, who lives in the US and she works in private equity. She has an amazing journey and story as well as her advice, and we really hope you enjoy and learn something new. Thank you.
Sure. Well, my name is Raquel Fernandez. I am 38 years old and I was born and raised in Costa Rica. Costa Rica is a country in Central America. It's a very, very small country, with only 5 million. It's a population of 5 million people. But when I was young, about your age, I knew that I wanted to go and study abroad. I had always been raised in a very, very small country, very homogeneous, everyone Hispanic, everyone speaks Spanish, everyone is Catholic, and I wanted to explore the world. So at a very young age, I made a decision that I didn't really know how to do this, but that I wanted to go study in the US. And so at age 17, I left and I did my undergrad at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. And I studied business administration, after which I was recruited to go work for a bank, an investment bank called Goldman Sachs in New York. And that was really, I would say, the moment where everything changed and my career started on a path where I have been working for the last 15 years plus in finance. And recently I have been an investor, investing in various things.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And can you tell us more about what you do in your job?
Sure. So basically what I do is I am in the world of finance, and finance, to put it in simple terms, is the science that studies money, right? And money and value and assets in many, many different point of view. But recently what I've been doing is I've been investing. And so investing is basically where you take money, either if it's yours or if it's someone else, and you try to find things to buy, whether they are assets or properties or companies or stocks. And the idea is you try to buy them when they're cheap, so that the value of these assets grows in time, and you can sell them and you can make a profit. So maybe for your audience, a good example would be baseball cards. I don't know if people collect baseball cards, but sometimes, you might buy a baseball card for $5, and then with time, it might become unique and it grows to $30, and then you sell it, right? You bought it for $5, you sell it for $30, you made $25. And then you go on to buying another baseball card. So I've been an investor recently and looking at opportunities to buy companies.
Wow.
And then sell them or try and figure out how to make them more efficient. It's a bit complicated, but that's what I've been doing in the last few years.
Wow, that's amazing. And how did COVID-19 affect what you do?
So actually, that was quite sad because let's see, COVID-19 made it so, it had these consequences where obviously a lot of companies had a hard time surviving, and a lot of them didn't survive at all. So my job went more, there was an opportunity, of course, because all of a sudden companies were cheap, right? Yeah. So you could buy companies that were having a hard time just because of COVID. Where I tried to focus my time during the last 2 years of COVID was more than buying companies or assets, because there was a lot of uncertainty, right? No one knew, was it going to be a 6-month pandemic or a year or 2 years or 3 years? Was trying to help companies survive. So trying to find ways in which my connections in finance and my experience in finance could be used towards, let's get some cash into this company so that they can survive, so that they can pay their employees for another 6 months and then for another 6 months. And I think we were very successful in making that happen. There was one company in particular that was very difficult last year. They sell swimming suits and boarding shorts and like skate and surf. And it was a couple of times in the brink of going bankrupt, and we were able to help them. So
Wow.
that's where my job sort of like turned towards more saving companies rather than buying and selling, because the focus was on a lot on trying to make them survive.
Wow.
Wow. And what do you enjoy the most about what you do?
So what I like about my job is that it's basically it's still a science, right? Where you one of the reasons why I liked it was that it's very mathematical, right? It's still you have to be good in math. You're dealing with numbers, with problems, mathematical problems that you need to solve. But it has a component of people. And so I remember when I was trying to figure out what to study, at some point I felt, oh, should I study economics? But I realized that it was tremendously abstract and you were dealing with concepts and models. And that was too technical. And then I thought, well, why don't I become a lawyer? But that was reading all day, and there wasn't like a lot of numbers. And I found this job where it was like the happy middle. I could work with my numbers, and that sometimes I need to be alone solving problems, but at the same time interact with people. So I think finance and what I've been doing lately, which is a lot of private equity investing, requires you to solve problems, but at the same time continue developing, communication and relationship skills that I think are very important.
Wow.
Wow.
And finally, what advice do you have for kids?
So I would have, if I could go back in time, I wish I have had, I've had many mentors in my life, but what I never had was someone that would tell me how life was going to really be, and a mentor that was going to be brutally realistic, to tell me this is the world that you're going to be facing. And of course, I understand that when you're younger and when you're a kid, your parents want to protect you from, how the world is going to be. But I wish towards my different, stages in life, someone would have told me, okay, from this five, career paths that you want, these are the pros and cons, pros and cons, pros and cons, pros and cons. This is, the difficulties in terms of how much time you're going to be working versus how much money you're going to be making versus these are the bad things. Like I wish I would have found a mentor that would have guided me. That would be my first step, like trying to find someone that is going to tell you the truth as it is. And for you, kids, be open that adults are not trying to necessarily be a pain in the ass. They're just trying to tell you and protect you from how the world is. And the last advice, if I can give you three advice. So one is mentor. Number two is be open to listen. We were kids one time, and we've gone through the hardships of reality. And number three is if you're not extremely passionate about something, right? Like if you've only thought about being a pianist all your life, pursue that. But if you haven't been tremendously passionate about something and you're still confused about figuring out what you want, focus on the future, but not future as in 5 years, 10 years. Try and find someone that tells you, oh, this is where I think life is going to be in 20 years. So that when you're my age, in 20 years, you chose the right careers that are going to grow because life is changing. Right now, I think if I was your age, I would focus on computer science, on robotics, on trying to understand all this artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain thing, all these things. Like that's what I would study. Like I wouldn't go down the route of studying the same things, like looking for careers that are going to really disrupt so that when you're my age, in 20 years plus time, you're going to be unique. Mine right now might be a lonely career because you're thinking about the future, but that will pay pay, I'm sure, a lot, not pay monetarily, but be very powerful, when you
Yeah.
are in your early 30s or late 30s.
Wow.
Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure you guys are going to be up for wonderful things. Have you spoken to many people around the world?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Am I the farthest away or not? Not no.
We have had another person in the US, but yeah, one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys take care. Have a great day and let me know if I can be of any help.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
La Sierra Leone est un pays situé en Afrique de l'Ouest. Sa capitale est Freetown et sa population est de 8 millions d'habitants. La Sierra Leone possède le sanctuaire des chimpanzés de Takugama, qui s'étend sur 100 acres de terrain. Le cotonnier est un monument très historique et fameux en Freetown. En 1792, un groupe des esclaves anciens s'est réuni autour du cotonnier et ils ont prié pour leur liberté. Diamants de sang de Sierra Leone, également connus comme les diamants de conflit, ont financé certaines guerres en Afrique. En 1991, Sierra Leone avait une guerre civile terrible pendant une décade. C'est fini en 2002, mais il y avait plus que 50 000 morts. Welcome back to the Chinese segment. This week we're going to be learning how to say our name and where we're from in Chinese. But before we get to that, let's do a little recap of what we learned last week and the week before that. The first week of the Chinese segment, we learned about the 4 tones. Ma, 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 ma. And in the second week, we learned a few greetings. Do you remember ni hao to say hello, ni hao ma to say how are you, xie xie to say thank you, and zai qian to say bye. Today we're going to be doing how to say my name is and I live in, and we're going to be learning a few countries in Chinese. I really hope you enjoy. Okay, to start with, to say my name is, it's really simple. It's just 我叫 and then your name. 我 is I and 叫 is call. So 我叫, I would say 我叫 Nitya. I'm called Nitya. Why don't you try it? 我叫. Now to say I live in. We use the same word 我 because that means I. Live in is 住在. Zai means to be somewhere. So we could say 我住在毛里求斯, which means I live in Mauritius. Mauritius in Chinese is 毛里求斯. Here are some of the names of the bigger countries around the world. 中国 is China. 中 means middle and 国 means country. So literally, country of the middle. 中国. USA is 美国. Mei is beautiful, and Go, as we said, was country. So its literal translation is beautiful country. 美国. Yingguo is English. Ying is the same one in Yingyu, which means English as a language. Yingguo is England. Indu is India. It sounds a bit like Hindu, Yindu. So if you wanted to say, I live in America, you would say, 我住在美国. 我住在中国 means I live in China. I really hope you enjoy this. Thank you. 再见. Hi everybody, this week on A9 News Kids Extra Fun segment, I'm going to be talking about snow leopards. I really hope you enjoy these facts and find them interesting. Snow leopards have incredibly thick fur. Their fur can be up to 5 inches thick to insulate them from the snow. Snow leopards, unlike other big cats, can't roar or purr. Despite them being called snow leopards, they are closer to tigers than leopards. Snow leopards usually live in high altitudes, from about 3,000 to 4,500 meters high. Did you know that snow leopards' life expectancy is about 15 years in the wild, but in captivity, it's about 20 years?